I love Gus. I love Gus too. I love Gus too. Gus, do you want to say hi? Since you're right on top of me anyway. Do you want to say hi? I'm trying to talk to people and you're right on top of me, Bubba. You're right on top of me. Yes. So, can Mama sit up? Jody, in order, it's an order of protection is a PT or a TPO, PTO. Um, so, um, and people get it against people for all kinds of stupid reasons. They really do. I'm not actively dying. If I was actively dying, I wouldn't be on here. A dog's love is pure and innocent. You know what? It is. And he's so. Here, hold on, Gus. Mama's got to sit up. Ugh. It is. It is. A dog's love is the best. Come here, Gus. Lay down. Here, come here. Lay down. There we go. Good boy. Um, they are. They are. I'm very grateful you're spreading awareness for chronic illnesses. Well, that was, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Sarah. When I started sharing my story 6 years ago, that was the whole point, was to spread awareness about rare disease and chronic illness through sharing my story because I didn't want other people to have to go through what I've been through. Um, do golden retriever? Oh yeah, golden retrievers are shudders. They are absolute shudders. Um, I actually have to get Gus to the groomer because he needs to get shaved down for the summer. Um, because he just Yes, because his fur furs is getting so long. Your fur furs are getting so long. Yes, they are. They're just getting so long. They're just getting so long. Yes, they are. Um, who trained your service dog? So we had a private trainer for a little bit, and then we took on and then we finished the training. So it took about 2.5 years to get him fully trained. Um, please don't shave him. He has to have his hair cut. He's got to get his hair cut. It's bad. He's getting matty, and we brush him and bathe him, but um, yeah, he's got to get a haircut really bad. Because he's shedding his disgust steal things. We don't say steal, we say tactfully acquire. And he has been known to tactfully acquire things. So, bye, sweetie. I love you. Have fun, okay?
Love you, my dude.
I love you, sweetie. Have so much fun. Um, I have adrenal insufficiency, and you work with some of the world's top endocrinologists on it. Um, I'm really lucky to have the endocrinologist that I do. I'm really lucky to have the endocrinologist that I do. He's wonderful. He's one of those few doctors, he's a single doctor practice. And he's one of the few doctors, you don't see that anymore. And, he'll come when you're in the hospital, like he'll come, at 10 o'clock at night. So, well, Jody, I really thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Um, when I was in the hospital back in December, he would, like, this guy is a workhorse. He's like in his 60s. He's a damn workhorse. And, but, like, he'd work all day, and then, like, we'd see him at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and he'd stay for like 20, 30 minutes and, just talk with us and answer any of our questions. And I mean, he just fought so hard and advocated for me so hard. He's, you don't see doctors like that often. Um, you know, you don't see doctors like that often. And he's a good one. He's a really good one. He's one of the, there's only like two doctors that I'll see now because I'm not doing treatment for anything anymore. Um, and he's one of the only couple doctors that I'll see. Um, so, just because he's good. And I need to make an appointment with him. I need to make a follow-up appointment. I've just been kind of lazy about it. Why not do treatment? That's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. Because there's no cure. There's no cure. And especially with the Ehlers-Danlos, with the manifestations and the comorbidities that I have, it's progressive, deteriorating, and life-limiting. And so we stopped treatment over a year ago and I decided on quality over quantity. So, because I'm not trying to live with this crap for 20 years. I'm just not. Um, so, hey, Angel, how are you doing, sweetheart? I'm hanging in there. I'm a little tired and worn out, but, same shit, different day. So I just roll with the punches. Um, and Misty, and for those people that choose to get treatment, I think that's, so I have secondary Addison's. So I have adrenal insufficiency due to a pituitary tumor. Jody, I have, um, I have SAI due to, so primary is Addison's, and a lot of people will call the secondary Addison's, but I have secondary adrenal insufficiency due to a pituitary tumor. Um, and Misty, the people that, do get treatment and go to the doctors and do, I, I would never discourage them from doing that. It's just not for me. And not only that, my tumor has not been removed. Um, my tumor has not been removed. Honey Bunny, you have friends that, yeah, some days it's good, some days it's bad. Um, so with the adrenal insufficiency, the medicines to try to treat it made me feel worse, and I still went into crisis even with the treatments. And so, um, mine's a micro adenoma. It's a slightly bigger adenoma. So, um, which I need to get rescanned. I'm supposed to have it rescanned, and I need to, looking pretty good for, oh my God, people, quit saying stupid comments. Looking pretty good for MPO since Thanksgiving. You idiot. I haven't been MPO since Thanksgiving. I was MPO for 6 days. Read the room. Um, have I looked at a pump? At a pain pump? No. Um, no, I haven't looked at a pain pump. We did a ketamine reset. And so the ketamine reset has really helped with the pain. Um, I have relapsing remitting MS, and I'm tired of fighting. Um, yeah, you're blocked. I'm not dealing with your stupid ass. Um, there we go. Does anybody on here, if there's anybody on here that wants to moderate for me so I can focus on talking to you guys instead of dealing with idiots, that would be great. Um, yes, I do have mild gastroparesis. Angel, thank you so much, love, for offering to moderate. Why does it say the number of mods? Well, I don't know how to remove some mods to add new ones. That's so stupid. Lainey, Lainey and Angel, I'll figure out how to get you guys as moderators. Um, so I need to get. So I named my tumor Tammy. I need to get her rescanned. I'm working on it. That's I'm working on it. Um, yeah, it's telling me I have too many moderators already, but I don't have anybody. Like right now, I don't have anybody on here that's moderating. So I got to figure that out. I'll figure it out. Janie, thank you so much. You were so sweet. Um, is it a functioning or non-functioning adenocarcinoma? Um, all I know, because I checked out, I checked out once I got diagnosed with it. I was like, and I'm done. Um, is it's the reason for it is the reason for my adrenal insufficiency. It's the reason why I don't produce cortisol and the reason why I produce way too much adrenaline. Like, I produce ridiculous amounts of adrenaline. Angel, thank you so much. You guys are really sweet. And I know that, and I don't understand why I'm losing followers either, but which is fine. Hopefully it's just the trolls that are leaving. Um, which is fine. I'd rather have 96,000 followers of, where 95,000 of them are awesome and just there than, than people that are, trolling or whatever. And, um, it's, and honestly, like, statistically speaking, there's always going to be haters and trolls. It is what it is, and, um, but the people like you guys that are just amazing and supportive and are like, girl, you do you, like I'm so thankful for that. And it's you guys that are the reason that I continue to do what I do. It's you guys that are the reason that, I continue my mission. Um, and is the reason why I have the Facebook, the Chronically Rah Rah Facebook group. And, you know, um, it's in why I continue to advocate for rare and chronic disease, you know, because because people can't see it, they don't think it's real. Exactly. Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I advocate so hard for rare, for rare and chronic and invisible illness. Um, because we have to break the stigmas that are surrounding them. We have to break the stigmas that are we have to break the stigmas that are surrounding them. We have to. Because, people only see, when it comes to illnesses, it's like people only see illnesses in the realm of cancer and now COVID. And if you don't have, you know, if you don't have either one of those, or you're dealing with an invisible illness, then, then people are like, well, you don't have it. Well, you look fine, but you don't look sick, so you must not be sick, which is, we lost 8 people last year due to doctors missing the signs of crisis. Yeah, like I can't tell you how many people, I'm a part of with the adrenal, I'm There you go, mama. I'm part of a group. I'm part of a support group for those with Addison's and adrenal insufficiency. And like, it just gets so saddening and disheartening to like go on and, well, and see like, the people that have died due to crisis. And, because the doctors didn't see it. The doctors didn't catch it on time. Show mama. There's mama. There's mama. So she's like, I just want to Netflix and chill. I know, Gus. I know. Everybody loves you, Gus. 2 were children. That's... No one can question your illnesses, but question the severity of, no one could question your illness, but question the severity of the symptoms. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Like in my last post, I was like, people are coming in and reading the very last page of the book, and thinking that they understand the entire series, and thinking that they understand the entire series, which you can't do. You can't read the last page of a book and say, and you can't read, Gus, lay down. There we go. Mama is talking to her friends. You can't come in and read the last page of a book and then decide that you know the entire series and write a report on it, if you will, It doesn't work like that. It's sad people can't question them. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And that's why I do what I do, because I'm just trying really hard to break the stigmas that surround, rare disease and chronic and invisible illness. Doctors refuse steroids. We have a lot of that issue here in the States. And I'm really glad that I have an endocrinologist that when it looks like I'm going into crisis, he is on it. He is on it. I hate when you confide in someone about how you feel and they say, oh, I get that too. Yeah. When you're trying to confide in someone about what's going on with you medically or even personally, the best thing that anybody can do is just listen. Just shut up and listen, and, it's one of those, like, I don't know what you're going through, but I can sit with you. I can cry with you. I can hurt with you, and I can hurt for you. But I can't understand what you're going through. But I can hurt with you, and I can hurt for you. And just listen. And we don't do enough of that. We don't do enough of that these days. We don't do enough of just listening. And, that was one of the biggest problems, when the hate campaigns were coming out against me. Of course, they were only being led by a couple of people who were just very, very bitter and very, very angry. But people were refusing to listen, and saying, oh, well, this person knew you for 2 seconds, so they must know everything that's going on, or, I read this on Reddit, so it must be true, because, Reddit is apparently the Bible for Gen Zers and, young millennials. Um, and Jody, I think you're doing great work spreading advocacy. Um, I think that, I love the advocacy that you're spreading, and I think it's awesome. We need more people to advocate. Um, we need more people to to spread advocacy and awareness for rare disease and chronic and invisible illness. We have to start breaking the stigmas. The stigmas have to start being broken. Um, the stigmas have to start being broken. What plans do you guys have this weekend? What's everybody doing this weekend? And I have heartburn. I'm sorry people can be so cruel, but I hope you know. And Britt, I know that there are more people that love and care about me than there are haters, and that's why I focus on the people that love and care about me. I don't even pay attention to the trolls and the haters. Um, I don't pay attention to the trolls and the haters, and that was the problem. Um, that was the biggest problem that I faced in January. When I did what I did at the end of January, between, dealing with a disease that I didn't want to deal with anymore because I was done being sick. Between dealing with that and dealing with, like, the hate campaigns were just so bad, and the death threats and the threats against my family, and, people knowing, like, my information, like, people were spreading, like, telling people exactly where I lived. Um, and it would just got to a point where it was just so much. Um, where it was just so much. And I was talking about this yesterday on a live. I was talking about, survivors, being guilty for still, dealing with, I still deal with a lot of guilt for still being alive, you know. How was my husband's date, or my ex-husband's date? It was awesome. He said it was really good. He said it was really good. I couldn't be happier for him. I couldn't be happier for him. So, yeah, he called me afterwards. He told me all about it. And I was like, that's my boy. I was like, that's my boy. Oh, I was really happy for him. Um, but I still deal with, I'm still working through guilt that I feel for still being alive, you know. Um, and that's something that I work through. And that's something that I work through, and that's something that I'm still, it's a process. Um, you know what? I'm going to go into the office and see if I can get comfortable in there. Hold on a second. We're going on a field trip, you guys. Everybody loves field trips. Oh, hold on a second. We're going on a field trip. Hold on one second. All right. Here we go. Going on a field trip. Hey, how are you guys doing? Oh, hey, Tanya, how are you doing, sweetie? I should have texted you. I'm sorry. It's so random when I get on here, and I feel bad. I should plan this stuff out more. But I'm so random. I'm so random and I'm so squirrel. It's bad. Ugh. All right. Let me get this on here really quick. Yay, my hands are free. So how's my family and how am I? My family's good. So my family's good. My family's doing good. I'm hanging in there and just choosing to live life a day at a time. So like I said, instead of for the first time, in a very long time, I'm living my life, to live instead of living my life to die. I spent a lot of time, I spent too much time living my life to die. Like living my life preparing to die instead of living my life to live. And just being focused on, on the days that I have, on the days that I'm here. And so that's something that I am, that's something that I'm focusing on. I'm working on, there's a lot of stuff that I'm working on. Working on not feeling guilty about being alive, I kind of liken the death process to giving birth for the first time. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I started going into labor at about 6 months. And, so every little move that was made, I was like, that's it. I'm going into labor. I'm going into labor right now. Right fucking now. I'm going into labor. And I did that for, about 2 months until she was born at 36, 37 weeks. And, I liken the death process to the same thing. Every little thing that happened, I was like, this is it. This is it. This is it. Like, beam me up, Scotty. I'm going. Beam me up, Scotty. This is it. And, like I said before, I was so, and I said this in my Facebook group also, because I did a live, like, explaining everything on the Facebook group. I was so, like, I was so anal and worried about making sure that I was being, like, I was so worried about being so transparent, because because there are people that get on and, and genuinely, unfortunately, there are a small group of people that do fake illnesses. And so, for me, it was like I wanted to be so transparent that I just, I was telling people what was going on exactly as it was happening without, like, taking a step back, evaluating, talking to a doctor or whatever, and then coming back and saying, okay, this is what I was feeling, but we talked to a doctor, this is what the doctor said, yada, or we, talked to hospice, this is what hospice said, yada, yada, yada. Did I get real hate mail then? Like, people coming to my house? Yeah. Yeah, we had people filing false reports like crazy. To the point, like, it got so bad that actually, it got so bad that the people that, like, filed all the false reports are being investigated. So for wasting resources and wasting time. Um, so, but yeah, like people were giving out my address. Um, People were giving out my address. We were getting death threats. We were getting death threats, threats against my family. Um, People who fake ruin it for a lot of people who are really suffering. Exactly, exactly. And so for me, it was so like, I'm a very transparent person anyway. That's just who I am. That's how I am. Um, and so it was always so important and so vital for me to be completely and 100% transparent. Um, Even though, being 100% transparent bit me in the ass. Like it bit me in the ass bad. Um, you look great. It's nice to see you like this. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And this is what keeps invisible illness sufferers silent. And it does. It absolutely does. Um, and the problem is I refuse to be silent. So I'm a stubborn, loud pain in the ass who refuses to be silent. You know, um, who like, I'll keep on sharing my story. I'll keep on sharing my story because there are people that need to hear it. There are people that need to hear the story. Um, you know, there are there are people that need to hear it. There are people that, need to hear my story. There are people that need to feel like they have someone advocating for them. And so that's what I'm willing to do. And that's why I share the good, the bad, the ugly. Because somebody has to do it. That's why I'm so afraid to be open and sharing stuff, but I appreciate people that do. Well, and like I said, Sarah, that's why I refuse to remain, that's why I refuse to be silent. And that's why I continue to share my story. Jody, you have an NG too, but you don't tell anyone. Um, Someone saying there's a message from your husband and family saying you're not sick. Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. And as far as the DNA buddies, the family part, I'm not going to get into detail because that's like my private life and I'm very private about my private life, but I don't speak to any of my family members, except for an aunt and one of my brothers. I don't speak to any of my family members. It's a very, very toxic situation. I grew up in a very, very toxic, um, I had in a very toxic childhood. Um, so I haven't had a relationship with my DNA buddies in years. So my DNA buddies have no clue what's going on. Um, so yeah, so that's definitely not true. Um, but Chica 1018, I appreciate you bringing that up. Um, I feel sad for the hate for you. It hurts my heart. It is what it is. Um, it is what it is. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have trolls. You're always going to have, that's just the world of social media. Um, That's just the world of social media. It is what it is. Um, and you have to realize that there are people that are they're just miserable people. They're just miserable people. Um, they're miserable people who have no lives and um you know and haters are going to hate, trolls are going to troll, and you just don't pay attention to it. Because if you pay attention to it, it's going to take your life. If you pay attention to it, it's going to take your life. And I can say that from experience. So I feel like it's nap time. I feel like it's nap time. I don't know why I'm so tired. I mean, I got sleep. So unless if I just didn't sleep well, which, I mean, I have, I know I have really bad sleep apnea. I have central sleep apnea. So there's like obstructive sleep apnea where you snore, and then there's, Gus, bring it. Bring it. Mama's sock. That is Mama's sock. That is not Gus's sock. Gus, you're right in front of the camera, dude. Did I sort it out? You said someone must have talked. Jody, be more specific. I'm sorry. I'm having a squirrel moment. Be more specific. Hold on one second. Oh, thank you. I need to do my hair. It's looking a little bad right now. What was I saying? Squirrel. Oh, yeah. Central sleep apnea versus... Oh, you said that if someone... Yep. Yeah, so if someone's talking about it, it means that people have said stuff that they're not supposed to say. So, yeah, that means people are sharing stuff on the socials that they're not supposed to share, which I already, like, the stalking video, the video of me, like, where somebody is filming me and they put it on Reddit. They said a bunch of stuff that they weren't supposed to say, so I've already filed necessary paperwork to be like, you're in violation. Like, people just need to get a life. People need to get a life. People need to move on with their lives. Yeah, I was filmed. Definitely without my permission, and it was put online absolutely without my permission. Not sure why I'm being targeted. It sucks. But I don't like to give those people I don't like to give the haters and the trolls any time of day. I've given them way too much time. I've given them way too much of my time already. I let them take my life in January, or try to take my life. And so, after that, I decided I was taking my life back. Everyone is saying I'm lying. Well, everyone is an idiot. I wish that there was the ability, for me to, like, I'd spend all my time in court, though, if I could sue everybody that was lying for medical bills. Be like, here you go. I hope you're not being stalked. I definitely, I definitely look over my shoulders every day. I definitely look over my shoulders every day. I'm very hyper aware. I'm hyper vigilant. Um, I'm hyper aware. I'm hyper vigilant. I am dealing with a little bit of PTSD from all of it. And I'm working through that. Um, but one of the biggest ways I'm trying to work through it is just to quit living my life to die and quit living to die and live to live. That's the biggest way that I can get back at the trolls and the haters is living my life to live instead of living to die. And enjoying the time that I do have and making the most of the time that I do have. What happened to Jen? I don't see her anymore. Unfortunately, the haters and the trolls were coming after her really bad too. They were coming at her, after her at work, and it got really bad. It got really bad, and so the best thing was to just separate, for her. And I miss her all the time, and I wish her well, and but I'd rather people come after me. So, I'd rather, people come after me instead of those that I love. So, Jody, no, unfortunately, no. But I think about her all the time, and, I hope that it's my hope that she's, well and happy and living life, you know. I'd rather them get a life and not come after anyone. Well, I feel the same way. Trust me. I feel the exact same way. But if the haters and trolls are going to come after anyone, I'd rather them come after me instead of the people I love. So I'm getting to a point where I can handle it. I was on my deathbed and now I'm better. How did I overcome it? I don't know why I'm better. Or I'm not necessarily better because my prognosis is still the same. My prognosis is the same. My prognosis hasn't changed. I don't know. That is a question that I struggle with daily. Stephanie, I think it is. Yeah. That's a question that I struggle with daily. I don't know. I should have died January 30th. I should have died. It is a question that I struggle with daily. But that's okay. That is okay. People deal with grief and pain in different ways. You just keep on doing what works for me. And that's, it's something that I'm working through. It's something that, the guilt and the grief. Stephanie, did I get better meds? I did it. We went through a ketamine reset. So when I was in hospice, before I got downgraded to palliative, I was on 90 milligram morphine equivalent an hour. Lola, quit humping Gus. I was on 90 milligram morphine equivalent an hour. Gus, take it. Bring it. And after the ketamine reset, I'm on about 20 milligram morphine equivalent a day. And Stacy, to answer your question, am I worried that I'll get worse? Every time I feel sick, I'm like, is this it? Is the shoe, because I'm very, very painfully aware of the fact that what we did was just a placeholder. It was nothing more. It's only a placeholder. It's not a cure. It's not, it's a band-aid. That's all we did, is we put on a band-aid. And band-aids fall off. And and so on the days where I feel particularly sick, or I'm in more pain, like I'm in pain now, but I'm talking to you guys, I'm getting through it. I'm trying to just not think about being in pain right now. But every time I'm like, is the shoe dropping? Is this it? Is the shoe dropping? Am I going to start deteriorating again? I can't go through that again. Sorry. I don't know if I can go through that again. I don't know if I'm strong enough to go through that again. To go through that level of deterioration and level of pain. And so it's definitely something that yeah. Cuz I don't think I have what it takes to go through it again. So yeah. So I am just going to focus on last time I was saying a goodbye video, yeah, because I fully expected to be dead. I fully expected it. I deal with a lot of guilt and grief for still being alive. Like, behind closed doors, you know, you can only show so much on social media, and behind closed doors, you know, there's so much that you guys don't see. You know, there's so much that you guys don't see. Go away, Nikki, in a nutshell. Nobody likes you. Thank God I survived. What made you decide to come back to TikTok, and why did I delete my old videos? I came back to TikTok because I wasn't going to let the haters and the trolls run my life. And I deleted a lot of videos for the safety and protection of my family, because of the death threats and because of the threats against my family. So so that's why I did that. threats for what? Threats against my life and then threats against my family. Because of lies that people were telling. It happens. Lola, quit humping Gus. And I did a video on Facebook, like with my Facebook group. You know, explaining, going over everything and explaining everything, and you know, I can always read you guys the same statement that I, that I put out, to my Facebook group. I don't mind doing that. I can read you guys the same statement, and I did a Q&A with them, and I did a Q&A with them after, my statement and explaining, and no shit. Shut the front door. Philip is dead? What? Shut the front fucking door. No. When? Oh my God. Oh. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, he's older than crap, but oh, that's sad. That's really sad. No one would lie about this. I'm sorry about how people treated you. My heart aches for Elizabeth. My heart aches for Elizabeth. She's probably going to go, well, I don't know. She's a very stoic woman. She is an extremely stoic woman. So I know, like, people are probably like, well, she's going to go soon after him. She is a very, like, and I'm telling you this because my grandmother was born in England, and they are stoic, like, I'm talking about, like, people Elizabeth's and my grandmother's age, right? They are some seriously stoic people. So she's very stoic. I think that she's going to get on. I think that she's going to get on just fine. Yeah, I think that she's going to get on. We have different codes here for every member. Yeah, yeah. But like I was saying, like I can always read you guys the same letter that I, read to my Facebook group if you guys want me to. I don't mind doing that. Beans, your grandmother is very stoic also. That's just, it's the British way. It is the British way. And especially when you're talking about the greatest generation. My grandfather was a Holocaust survivor from Poland. My grandfather was a Holocaust survivor from Poland. My grandmother was from England. They came to the States with $7 between them. They, like, it's just a different... that was the greatest generation for a reason. Yes, please read it. I'm glad. Where's my computer? Hold on a second. I I tell you what, if hold on for just 2 seconds. I'm gonna go get my computer really quick, print it out, and then I'll read it to you guys. So give me just a second. Give me just a second. So anybody that's on here, just tell people to hold on for a second. I'm gonna go grab my computer. All right, give me a second. Let me pull it up really quick. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm pulling it up. All right, let me print it out really quick. Let me print it out really quick, and then I'll okay. I'll print it out really quick. I'll read you the same thing that I read on my private Facebook group, on the Chronically Rah Rah group. Kat, what are you doing? And I think, Tanya, I don't know if you're still on here. When did I read this to the Facebook group? I think I did this statement to the Facebook group in February. So, well, is it going to print? Come on. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. All right. It's printing really quick. It was February, early March. It was February probably when I gave my statement, and I did the Q&A afterwards. You know what? I'll just read it off of here. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay. Off topic, but I live in California. Would you move back? If I am single by the time the lease is up here, I'm going back to California. Absolutely. So I'm working on my walking more. Chica 1018, I'm working on my walking more. I'm doing cardiac rehab. It's still, you just don't hear the hurt. I try to keep that silent. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. No, we're in the middle of divorcing. California is amazing. California's home for me. San Diego's home, and I miss it so much. I miss it so much. Hold on one. Can you guys still see me? Hold on. Why is this? Oh, my baby Jesus. Oh, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I've got people texting me. I'm trying to read this statement, but I do have to answer this really quick. Oh, now it's printing. It's printing now. Okay. All right. So, all right. Hold on. It's printing. Let me get it. Okay. All right. All right. So if you guys want, I'll read this statement really quick. The same one that I read to my, I'll read this statement really quick for the, it's the same thing that I read to my, it's the same thing that I read to my Facebook group, the Chronically Raw Raw Facebook group. And hopefully, hopefully this will answer some questions for you guys. So hopefully this will answer some questions for you guys. So I'm just going to read the whole thing. So bear with me. COVID has helped him have the funeral he wanted in a way. Yeah, I bet he just wanted something private. And so hold on 1 second. Give me 1 sec. So when you guys are ready for me, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just read this. Like I said, several of you guys wanted me to read the same statement that, several of you guys wanted me to read the same statement that I read to my Chronically Raw Raw Facebook group. And I kind of hope that this puts some stuff in perspective for you guys when it comes to what's been going on. So I'm just going to read the whole thing. So a couple of housekeeping items. I ask that you hold all questions until I'm done giving my statement, as it will probably answer the majority of questions you've had or do have currently. I ask that as we go to the Q&A session of this live, that you remain respectful in your questions and comments, as what I'm going to be talking about is going to be very hard, but needs to come out. Also, this live is not to be reproduced, shared, or talked about outside of this group. If anyone does, legal action will be taken. This is a very intimate talk that we're going to be having. I'm a very private person, minus my medical journey. I always have been. It's how I keep my heart guarded and those I love safe. To say the weeks following Thanksgiving have been a mindfuck would be an understatement. I went from 300 to over 100,000 followers on TikTok in less than 3 weeks. That's crazy, to say the least. My first thought was so many people are going to learn about rare disease. We're going to be able to break the stigmas surrounding them. Never did I think that sharing my medical story, every nook and cranny of it, would lead to me getting death threats, stalked, having the safety of people that I love compromised, and having my family's safety compromised. Never did I think that this would cause me to have to go into hiding just because I chose to open up about my medical life. The biggest question I get is about the MPO, so let's talk about that. Actually, belay my last. Let's go to the beginning of almost 6 years ago, where the story started. I proudly served in our U.S. Navy for 4 years of a 6-year commitment. I had planned on retiring in the Navy, being a lifer, and coming out salty as fuck. As soon as I got into boot camp, I started getting sick with constant pneumonia, bronchitis, and small infections, but I soldiered on, no pun. I broke my ankle with 3 weeks left in boot camp and still kept on running on it because I wanted so bad to finish. My best friend in the Navy, who's now a drill instructor, and she shares that story with all of her recruits. By 2 years in, I was averaging bronchitis and pneumonia about twice a year. I had 2 major bowel obstructions, was diagnosed with asthma, and started having a harder time at smaller physical tasks. But I kept on because I'm fluent in the language of stubborn. Then in June of 2015, the glass broke when I had major grand mal seizures that landed me in the hospital for over a week. After that, my health went downhill, and I was retired. I was medically retired in 2017. And in 2018, I received 100% permanent disability retirement. It broke my heart that I wasn't going to get to go back into the Navy. I remember the day I sold my rock climbing equipment, and I bawled because I loved climbing. That was what made me me. Unfortunately, I kept on getting sicker, but Navy doctors aren't the brightest, so I got the runaround of I'm sad, malingering, faking, attention seeking, you name it. So I created Chronically Rah-Rah to share my story because I didn't want anyone else to ever have to go through what I did. I was willing to share every part of my medical story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because people needed to see the parts of rare disease that so many don't show. For almost 6 years, I showed the world that followed me, mostly friends and family, every part of my diseases. The pandemic hit, and everyone, including myself, flocked to TikTok as a way of trying to bring some sanity to our vastly insane lives. For me, it was another avenue to bring awareness to rare disease and invisible illness. And like everyone else, I added a Venmo because fuck it, everyone else was, so why not? Though I didn't put much thought into it, and for several months, it was just me and my 300 followers. Often, when I went on, I knew I was talking to the void, and I was okay with that because it let me get out. It let me get out my feelings, knowing no one else would see, much less care. Then on one fateful day, I hadn't been on in a while. So one day I hadn't been on in a while. I went on and talked to my 300 followers and said, sorry, I haven't been on. This is why. It went semi-viral. And then the next post went viral. And then the next post went viral. And then the Thanksgiving Day post, which my daughter filmed, went stupid viral. It got over 4 million views. So that brings us to the MPO. I had stopped all treatment in December of, well, let me go back to the Thanksgiving Day post. I apologize. So that day I was having a really, really bad health day. I asked my daughter if she wouldn't mind filming because, like I said, I show the good, the bad, the ugly. I said she wouldn't be in, I said if she wanted to film, that was fine. She didn't have to. She said that she was okay with that. But I would not put her in the video. And so, like all teenagers, they love their parents one day, they hate them the next, and the days that they hate them, they do whatever they can to spite them, and my daughter was having one of those days. So that brings us to the MPO. I had stopped all treatment in December of 2019 because there's no cure to any of my conditions, and the treatments that they were doing, it was like throwing something to a wall to see what would stick, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted a quality of life, not a quantity. So we stopped treatment and started the process to do Death with Dignity in Switzerland through Dignitas. I had chosen the date to die of July 29th, 2020. I was going to finally be free of being sick. And when you're as active and as type A as I am, and was having a condition bring you to your knees that kept you in bed all day with no quality of life, death is a sweet surrender. When I decided to go MPO in November, December, Switzerland was a bust due to COVID. But even if I could have gone, at that point, I was too weak and unable to make the trip. I'd been pretty much 90% bedbound since February. I got COVID in March, which wiped me out completely. And since I speak stubborn fluently, I truly thought I could fully go NPO. And for 6 days I did. But then my doctor put me in the hospital so he could admit me into hospice. He had given me no more than 3 to 5 years in December and decided hospice was going to be the best route. And again, since I'm fluent and stubborn, I was going to take that 3 to 5 years all the way down to several weeks at best. And that's where I get to, it says talk about being transparent and saying what I felt as I felt it. So, as I've said many times, I'm a very transparent person, and I'm a very transparent person. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew what was going on as it was going on when it was going on. And I've talked about that before, wanting to be so transparent. I wanted so bad to be so transparent that I shared with my followers everything that was going on as it was going on in real time. I was sharing this stuff without, for me, when any little thing happened, I was like, this is it. This is it. This is it. I'm going to get beamed up. We're beaming up. We're going, Scotty. We're getting beamed up. And instead of taking a step back and saying, okay, this is how I feel. I need to contact hospice, talk to them, figure out what's going on, and then maybe I can talk to my followers about it later. I would automatically tell you guys what was going on because I wanted so bad to be so transparent, because I didn't want anybody to think that I was lying or trying to pull one over or anything else. It's, the same thing. I did the same thing when I, was pregnant with my daughter. I started going into labor at 6 months. I was a high risk pregnancy, and it was like every little move. I was like, I'm going into labor. We're having a baby right now, right fucking now, like right now, and it was like that for it was like that for 2 months until she was born at 36, 37 weeks. Obviously, I'm no longer MPO. And I've talked about the ketamine reset several times. They did the ketamine reset to reset my pain receptors. At the time of hospice, I was on about 90 milligram morphine equivalent an hour. With the ketamine reset, I am down to about 20 milligram morphine equivalent a day. It is by no means a cure. It is only a Band-Aid. And eventually the Band-Aid is going to fall off. And that scares me every single day. Because while I am fluent and stubborn, and while I am doing everything I can to live my life to live instead of living my life to die, sorry. I don't think that I am strong enough to be able to handle that again. I can't handle. I don't think I can go back to being in that much pain again and being that sick again. Really quick, I don't have to show proof of anything. I don't owe anybody anything. I'm bad with my words. I always have been. It's why I do better when I write stuff down, because it allows me to be able to process what I need to or want to say and make edits as needed. I wanted so bad to be transparent because there are people who are solely out to scam people, that I told you all literally everything I was feeling and thinking in real time, instead of taking a step back, evaluating the situation, talking to hospice, and then coming back and saying, this is what I was feeling, this is what the doctor said. And for that, I hope you can accept my apologies and forgive me. Because I never meant to, I never meant to mislead or take anyone for a ride. I was just trying to be as transparent. I wanted to be so truthful and so transparent that being so truthful and so transparent bit me in the ass. It's why now I'm very hesitant to talk about my health, because I do have bad days. The day that I wrote this letter, I slept over 15 hours last night, or the night before. I have a raging kidney infection and UTI that's wiping me out. And that's also why I took my previous link tree down, because I wanted the focus to be on all of you and not me. I wanted to provide you with the education and advocacy you need to fight the diseases you're facing or wanting to learn about. As for the ketamine reset, I'd do it all over again, because it gave me a quality of life back. I know it isn't going to last, and I'm already feeling sorry. I know it isn't going to last, and I'm already feeling my body starting to slow down again, but I'm going to take full advantage of what I have while I have it, because I know it's not forever. I know I never want to go back to being on 90 milligram morphine equivalent an hour ever again. Ever. And I don't know why I'm still alive when I clearly shouldn't be. I joke that God will finally take me when he says, okay, I fucked with her enough, beam her up. I'm not talking about the hate campaigns much, because I don't want to give those people any more of a platform than they already have. Also, because of legal reasons and the FBI is involved, I can't go into detail, although there are days I wish I wasn't the bigger person sometimes and would just spill all the tea. But this is also why we vet as thoroughly as we do on the Facebook group. Because they don't deserve to know anything about, because the trolls don't deserve to know anything about my life or what's going on. And then for those that are in the Facebook group, for my over 5,000 followers that are in my Facebook group, I said, you are all my rah-rahs and I will protect you fiercely. Now, what's in the future? Like I said, I still have death threats against me, and my family still isn't safe. And because I want too much for this group, my Facebook group, to carry on. And the reason I started chronically, I want too much for this group to carry on. The reason I started Chronically Rah-Rah and its legacy, the best way so the best way to do this is for me to walk away, giving my baby to the admins and mods and moderators, and that's what I'm going to be doing when everything is run like a well-oiled machine. So I basically told my Facebook group that when everything is good and it's being run like a well-oiled machine and everything, and I can pretty much just fade into the background, that's what the plan was always supposed to be. And then from there, once, because I'm going through a change of legal identity, once my change of legal identity is finished and I have my new name and everything, I will be shutting down all my social media and going somewhere that only my husband and my aunt will know and have access to me for my safety and theirs. And then this was specifically for the people in my Facebook group that are a part of the Facebook group. But I said, it breaks my heart to have to leave this group and leave all of you. But like I said, you are my rah-rahs and I will protect you fiercely. I'll still be in the background, but the haters will follow me, allowing the group to thrive. I thank you for listening, and I will answer any questions you have now. Just please remember to make it respectful. So, that's the statement that I put out to the people that are in, so that's a statement that I put out to the members of the Facebook group. And to already, we're divorcing, but we love each other very much. It's not a, why'd I have, I'm getting questions. Why did I have the vaccine? I got the vaccine, for everybody else. So, because I've already had COVID. So I got the vaccine for everybody else. Can you say what the name of... Yeah, you can still find the Facebook group under Chronically Rah-Rah. Even though, like, the name of the group has changed to... the name of the group... Hold on one second. So, the Facebook group, you can find the Facebook group. You can find the Facebook group under Chronically Rah-Rah if you go www.facebook.com/group/Chronically Rah-Rah. You will be able to find it under there. It's just going to be, the group name is now Awareness for Rare and Invisible Chronic Disease. Or the acronym ARID. So there's a small C in there. Will I still see my daughter after the divorce? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, just, when you guys apply to the group, make sure you answer all of the questions. If you don't answer all the questions, and we don't have a way to be able to vet you to make sure you're not a troll, then your request is going to get denied and you'll have to do it again. So please just make sure that you answer, all of the questions. Rooted and revived, yes, exactly. So awareness for rare and chronic visible diseases. And actually, if you don't mind, I'm just going to reply to yours and put on the website, if that's okay, because for whatever the reason it won't let me like type comments on here. There we go. Okay, so there's the web address. The link to the Facebook is on my link tree, so you should be able to find the link to the Facebook on my link tree. Heidi, will you do me a favor? And Heidi, send me an email. send me an email with your information, Heidi, and let me know what's going on. And then that way we can get it figured out. What are your goals and steps for this next year, Rooted and Revived? That is a really good question, and I thank you for asking that. Right now, I'm just taking baby steps of instead of living to die, live to live. On my good days, live fully, live absolutely fully. And on my bad health days, be thankful for the good health days that I did have. Be thankful for the good health days that I did have. And then, like I said, I'm doing baby steps. I'm working through the guilt that I'm feeling because of still being alive. There's a lot of guilt there. And so that is something that I'm really working on and that I'm working through. Will I eventually come back online once I get to my undisclosed location and my new identity? Possibly. I think, because I'm trying to figure out how I can go about it. I think for everybody online, I'm going to remain chronically rah-rah, and I won't share my new you guys won't know what my new name is, or what my new name is, or like my location or anything like that. That's going to be kept very private, obviously for my safety, for the safety of my family. But I think online, I think I'll still be able to maintain an online presence by staying only online. I'm only going to be chronically rah-rah. That's all I'm going to be known as. And I won't share any of that information. Why do I need a new identity? Because the hate campaigns got so bad, and the death threats and threats against my family. And I still have to worry about that it's the only way I know how to protect my family. And it also allows me to try to have a somewhat functioning life, or get on with my life without having to worry, it allows me to be able to everybody deserves to be able to live and be happy and live free. And for me, because the hate campaigns and the stuff that people were putting online, that stuff stays forever. So that, even though I can't work, if I ever did or was able to work, it wouldn't, it would affect everything. So changing my identity allows me to be able to move on with my life without having all the stuff that the people that were involved with the hate campaigns did. How do you feel about leaving the family who won't be able to know where you're going? So the family that won't know where I'm going, I don't talk to them anyway. Josh, my aunt, and my brother are the only family that I have. So they're the only family that I have. I don't have I don't have parents. I mean, I don't have parents that are in my life. I don't have, my grandparents are dead. I don't have, I just have my one brother. I don't have any other siblings, that I have a relationship with. Oh, I'll work on getting my Linktree verified. I'm sorry, I should have done that. Here's my email, chronicallyrahrah at... You can either email me at chronicallyrahrah@gmail.com or protonmail.com. If you want something that's a little bit more protected, then do Proton Mail. Why aren't my parents in my life? Without getting into too much detail, I had a very traumatic childhood. I grew up in a very, very traumatic and broken home. And I really did try to have a relationship with my parents, but it was just so toxic that eventually I didn't have the loving my birth mom walked out, and my dad and my stepmom, it was just a very, very toxic, it was a very toxic childhood, very toxic upbringing. I tried to have a relationship with them, and it was extremely toxic. And for my health and for my emotional health and sanity, I had to walk away. I had to cut out the toxic people in my life. Angel, awesome. I'm so glad you requested to join the group. I would have loved to have known, like, I see these people that are like, oh yeah, my parents and I were best friends and I had such a great childhood, and I talked to all my siblings, and I don't know what that's like. That's very foreign for me. So that's all I've got to say about that. Tanya, we are family now. Yes, we are. I am your older sister. Thank you. Sorry. I shouldn't. Somebody sedate me. That's very kind of you guys. You guys are really sweet. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I have 7 nieces and nephews. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of gifts to get. But I like spoiling people, so that's okay. Will my new doctors... Yeah, my new doctors will know everything. My new doctors won't... Like, if I get new doctors, which is very unlikely, they they would have to know what's going on medically, in order to, they have to have the best medical history in order, to be able to properly treat me. Sorry, just came in and you said you were changing your identity. Yeah, so I'm going through a change of identity right now. And it's because between November and February, the hate campaigns got so bad, and the death threats and everything that was put online got so bad, that it's the best way for me to protect myself and my family. So online, I'm always going to be known as chronically rah-rah. That's the way, that's the best way. Tanya, I was proud to serve. I was proud to serve in our, in our greatest, best Navy in the world. So, and I'd still be in it if I wasn't sick. I'd still be in the Navy. So I miss it. Why do they do that to a terminally ill or sick person? I don't know why people do what they do. I really don't. I don't understand why people do what they do. I wish that I did. I really wish that I did, but I don't understand. I don't understand why people spread lies. I don't understand why people spread so much hate. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Trauma and hate for themselves. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You said you were getting death threats. Why was your family? I have no idea. That's a good question. I don't know why I was getting death threats. Oh, yeah. I drink these all the time. This and this and my Propel water. Like, it's the only way that I can really, it's the only way that I can really, if people want me to drink fluids, then this is it. So, and I'd rather do this than have to have a bolus of fluids put in me, because every time, when I was in the hospital in January, I was so swollen from all the fluids that they were giving me. So, oh, Sailor, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you being on here really quick. You love Propel. I really like it too. I get mine at Kroger. So, and I just get the flavored stuff. What happened? You were going MPO last year. I did go MPO. I made it MPO 6 days. And then once I got put in the hospital and into hospice, once you get put into the hospital, they're going to shove all kinds of shit in you. So, I made it 6 days. I probably could have made it a couple more because I'm very fluid and stubborn. When you hit Pinterest, when you hit Pinterest, you've made a whole new level of crazy. MPO is basically no food or fluids. So, nothing by mouth, exactly. So, nothing by mouth. If you're getting a surgery or a procedure or whatever, they'll tell you to go MPO for 12 hours. 12 hours prior, and that's what that is. So, but what time is it? Oh crap, I guess I should do something with my day, huh? So I encourage you guys to join the Facebook group though, if you want to. I'm very open on the Facebook group. I go into a lot more detail with stuff on the Facebook group just because it's an intimate setting, and I've been able to bawl my eyes out on the Facebook group, and people are just like, you do you, girl. You need to they're like, let that shit out. Oh, Angel, sweetie, you have a wonderful day. You have a wonderful day, sweetie. I love you dearly. Um, Prairie, get to me. Will you send me an email? Send me an email and let me know what's going on. The Facebook group is Chronically Rah Rah. Fingers crossed you requested the right group. Well, once I get off of here, I'm going to go through the request. And again, make sure when you guys do the Facebook group request, make sure to answer all the questions, because if you don't answer all the questions, then it's going to get denied. So it's going to get denied. And I always hate denying people. It just, but we have to be able to make sure that people coming in aren't trolls and haters and like, trying to spread stuff. So gas station sushi, I'm hanging in there today. How are you doing, love? But I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and get off here for a little bit. I got to get ready, and I'm supposed to see my person today. So Wilma is your hamster's name. That is awesome. Oh, that is great. That is great. But I'll get back on with you guys later, and I'll post stuff and get with you guys later. But I really appreciate you guys being on with me. I know how you could be spending your time, and you chose to spend your time with me. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you guys. I love you guys so much, and I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful for you. I can't thank you guys enough. I love you all, and I will see you soon.